This is Heavy Iron, and this is Heavy Iron W.
What's good, internet? Jake here, dumb as ever, and the Korean show about transforming robots from another planet, Metal Cardbot, has been making waves over here in the West, mostly for their insanely creative and fun designs. Instead of continually going back to the same well, Metal Cardbot is creating a whole new universe, with tons of fun lore. For example, in Season 3, we learn about wild cardbots, a faction of animal-themed cardbots that clashed with the metal cardbots for ages on planet Machina. They also carry something called the Beast Virus, which can fully or partially change a metal cardbot into a wild cardbot. This season recontextualizes several characters. For example, Deep Bite is revealed to have contracted the Beast Virus, which explains his shark-like submarine mode. We've already discussed Blue Cop contracting the virus as well in a previous video, turning him into the werewolf-esque Blue Cop W. But another character from Season 1 also got the Beast Virus, Heavy Iron, the power-hungry outlaw and main antagonist of Season 1, who became an ally after seeing June really cared about the cardbots. In Season 3, he actually gives himself the virus, wanting a piece of that raw power, and once again becoming an antagonist. The Beast Virus alters his Heavy Iron body, and in today's video we're going to take a look at Heavy Iron W, the biggest and baddest metal cardbot. At least he was before Tyrant Zero came out. This beast of a toy is still incredible though, and we need to discuss him. But before we jump into the review, we need to talk about today's sponsor, JPFans. JPFans is a proxy service, which is probably the weirdest kind of website you can buy from. A proxy service acts as a middleman between you and Japanese online stores, like Mercari, Amazon, and Surugaya. There are two main steps for ordering on JPFans. The first is ordering your items. I love to shop on Mercari because you can find great deals on secondhand items. When you order an item, it'll be sent to the JPFans warehouse, where they can store it for you for up to 60 days. That way you can make multiple orders and bundle items together, which is better for shipping. Keep in mind that because JPFans is a middleman, refunds are not guaranteed. The JPFans purchasing agent will attempt to negotiate with the original seller to get you a refund, but it is up to that original seller on whether they will accept a return or not. The second step is paying for international shipping. International shipping has to be calculated after ordering the items, because they have to price out the shipping after packaging and weighing the items. And I also have to mention that international shipping can be super expensive on account of the items coming from a whole different country. But I do have some tips. First of all, there's a calculator which can help you estimate the shipping cost based on the weight of the items you order. Keep in mind this is an estimate, and you won't know the price for sure until your items are packed and weighed, but it does help you know the range you can expect. Another tip is that the most reliably cheap international shipping service is ECMS. If an option for ECMS does not appear for you, message customer support and ask what you can do to get ECMS as an option. If you are not in the United States, I recommend avoiding UPS. They are an American company, so the price to ship is much higher if you're not in the US. Again, if ECMS is not available, message support to see if they can help you. If you do want to use JPFans, please consider using my link below. If you do so, you'll get some coupons. And if you redeem code dumbjake, you'll get a 20% shipping discount coupon.
Okay, before we discuss Heavy Iron W, we do kinda have to discuss Heavy Iron. Now, I've reviewed this guy on the channel already, so this is gonna be sort of a quick showcase. I want to show him off because Heavy Iron W in the show, and just as a toy, is an upgrade to Heavy Iron. So here is Heavy Iron's vehicle mode. As you can see, it definitely invokes a sort of Optimus Prime style look. A lot of people feel like he's the main villain of the first season because he looks like Optimus Prime, and that might be the case, that might not. This is the Agabus release, meaning it is identical to the Korean release of the toy, and I've had this guy for a couple months now, and I gotta say, I really love him. At first I wasn't sure because the trailer sort of breaks apart to form his body, and that's not always my favorite transformation style. I don't immediately hate it, it depends, but you know, it's not always my favorite. But after playing with him a whole bunch, transforming him a whole bunch, I really came to love the transformation. It's quick, it's simple, it's chunky, wacky, it's fun. And it somehow doesn't feel all too different from the other figures that don't parts form at all. Taking a quick look at his details, we can see he has a cab here. Very cool. I love the blue and red. And then this is his trailer altogether. Very solid. Nothing falls out. Nothing falls apart. Now let's go ahead and grab Heavy Iron W. So first I'm going to grab the cab. And then I'm going to grab the trailer. As you can see, things have changed. So like I said earlier, in the show he gets the Beast Virus, which gives him immense power and changes his form. Now honestly, if we just take a look at both cabs, there's not a big difference between the two. I mean, there's definitely some stylization going on. Like Heavy Iron W just looks sharper, more angular, more angry. Somehow more angry than the original, but they retain a lot of the same details. If you even look under here, they both have this light blue paint application, which is kind of cool that it's consistent between the two. It really shows that this is the same character. But yeah, it's crazy that the trailer has gotten so much bigger, and the actual cab itself is definitely bigger, but only slightly. But yeah, I love that deep shade of blue. I love his giant smokestacks. And they even went and chromed out his wheels, which is really nice. Because if you look at his hubcaps here, they are just plain plastic. So this guy definitely feels way more premium. Though I will say the plastic quality between the two feels very much the same. It's a classic Korean solid plastic feel. Now I did want to look at the two trailers here. So obviously we saw Heavy Iron's trailer. Heavy Iron W's trailer is... It's just so big, man. It's just so huge. Most of the mass of the robot is all in this trailer. And unlike Heavy Iron W does not parts form. He does have integrated weapon storage just like Heavy Iron, but besides that, everything goes together. It all transforms as one piece. We can also see that they added a lot more paint to this guy. He's got some silver paint on top, some nice gold paint on the sides. You can definitely tell that it is an exaggerated, beastified version of this trailer. Let's take Heavy Iron away for a second, and let's go ahead and compare Heavy Iron to a more recent review we've done, Taki. As you can see, he is absolutely huge compared to Taki. You can actually go ahead and put Taki on top of his trailer, almost like a car carrier. Side view, and yeah, this guy is ridiculous. He's almost too big, but I don't feel like he's too big. I do feel he's like on the cusp of being too big, but I think this is like the perfect size to really invoke that power he has. But now it's time to go ahead and transform him. So let's start with the cab first, because it's much, much simpler. I'd say it's almost even simpler than the original Heavy Iron, which is really interesting. So we're just gonna fold these pieces out. We're gonna fold these down, turn this around, and there we have his backpack. And then we're gonna flip this piece up and fold out his head, like so. And then fold that down, and that's sort of gonna lock the head in place just fine. And then finally, we're flipping up the grill to cover the vehicle mode eyes and closing it up. And there we have Heavy Iron's body. Again, looks super angular and cool. And there is a feature where you can open up his head and switch out his eyes. Because in the show, when he's enraged, he doesn't have pupils. But when he calms down, he does have pupils like the rest of the metal Cardbots. I cannot for the life of me get this thing to twist. And I'm afraid I'm gonna like break one of my nails trying. I don't know if I'm missing something on this or what, but it does not feel like it wants to twist either way. So that's kind of unfortunate, but c'est la vie. So yeah, if you've seen the original Heavy Iron, you can definitely tell this is him, just slightly stylized. He's got a little bit more of a flair going on. I love that he still has these smokestack like gun things next to his head. I can just imagine him peppering someone with blaster fire. But what we really need to do is transform this thing. And I'm gonna do my best to keep everything in frame, but brother, it is a task. So we're gonna flip under here, and we're gonna see all these awesome colors here. A lot of gray on the outside, a little bit of red, a little bit of blue, but you flip under and you see, wow, so much like gold chrome and then red and blue. He's really cool in terms of colors. So we're gonna remove the weapon here. This is his big ass sword. And now we're gonna sort of orientate it to be in body mode. So these are the legs, these are the arms, and we're gonna try and just break it apart basically. So let's start with the back here. We're gonna pop these parts out. You do kind of just have to wiggle it around. At least in my experience, there's probably a prettier way to do all this, but also this toy is still made for children, so like, you know, it's meant to be played around with. We're folding these pieces down over the legs. We're just gonna flip out the toes while we're at it. We're gonna flip these parts to the sides, and then this whole part sort of becomes like the back skirt. You just gotta fold it up, sort of like the back skirt here, and then we are folding out these arms. We're taking these wing guards and just rotating them out of the way here. Lots of this stuff is just connected via C-clips. We're gonna rotate the wheels around, flip them out of the way, and now the arms have clearance to fully come out here. We're gonna take the legs and extend them. Extend all the way, flip out the shin guards, and disconnect the legs. Okay, you can see the arms are sort of loosey-goosey here, so you're gonna actually push them in until you hear a snap. Open the arm guards, and we're flipping out the hands. Same thing, open the arm guard, flip out the hand, and then push the arm in until it pops. And I think the body is ready for his head and chest. So all you gotta do is slot it in. It slots in very nicely. And boom. Here we have Heavy Iron W. And this dude is absolutely massive. He's either the biggest or almost the biggest metal card bot I have. I think Grand Blue Leon, the combined form of Blyon and Blue Cop, might beat him. I can't exactly remember. But he's massive, man. He is, just as one card bot, he is huge. He's only been outclassed by Tyrant Zero, the new figure that just came out. Saw it at BotCon, by the way. Looks incredible. I can't wait for it to come out in the US because I am not paying $300 for it. But just look at all those colors. The blue, the red, the gray. I love these little transparent bits throughout. Little chrome to gold pieces as well, just to give it that regal vanity. He just looks incredible, man. Like, he is very much a toy that can kind of just stand there menacingly. Now, we do have his weapon, which very much has a dragon motif here. You can kind of see it with the eye and teeth. If you flip this up, you sort of flip him into gun mode. So you just put it in his hands, super easy. And boom, he's got a gigantic rifle, just blaster sort of thing. Definitely looks badass holding it, but the cooler option is to transform it a bit, put down the guard, and then he has a giant sword. And man, how can you hate a robot with a giant sword? He looks absolutely wicked, dude. I also just love like how his wheels end up here. I love that little bit of kibble. That's like so cool to me. He's got these big wings which do articulate a bit. They can also like rotate back if you want, so they can get out of the way, but they are like big arm pieces of kibble. And the only other kibble he seems to have is sort of this butt plate here, which is not really in the way in my opinion, and you can actually fold it out of the way. So let's just take a look at articulation real quick, because this guy compared to the original Heavy Iron is so much more articulated. Now there are reports of the head being way too tight and breaking, so I'm gonna be careful. It doesn't feel too tight to me, but I'm not gonna chance it. I think he's fine, but you know, just be careful with your copy. If it won't budge, don't push it, okay? You can rotate the arms 360. Obviously, you can hear those giant ratchet joints. This dude is full of just massive ratchet joints. You can push his arm out like that. He's got a double jointed elbow here. His wrist does rotate, and he does have a swivel here at the bicep. He does have a waist joint, so that's pretty incredible. His leg can go out that far. If we push the butt plate up, it can go back that far. and it can go forward that far. And he does have a battle skirt, which can get out of the way. I didn't even know this piece moved, so that's very nice. He does have a big-ass knee joint, which can do a full 90, as you can see here. He has a swivel at the hip. And then for his foot, he does have an ankle tilt, a very nice one at that. So they took a character who could barely move. The first Heavy Iron is a super fun toy, but once you transform him, he's sort of like a Super Sentai mecha. Like, all vibes, can't really move. That is not the case with Heavy Iron W. This dude is built to move, built to pose. He is just truly an upgrade in every single way. And I haven't even mentioned, like, the dragon shoulders here. These are really cool. I'll say he's not super dragon themed without his metal card. He's got the vibes, like this is spikier, and of course his sword has a dragon theming, but overall, like the only real dragon theming is his shoulder guards, which look really cool. Like the golden eye here, and you can see the teeth. Like, it's very interesting. Also, in terms of standing, he stands very well. In my Grand Blue Leon review, we talked about how he sort of slanted back. He was way too back heavy. This guy does not have that problem, probably because he's just mostly one piece with, you know, just this piece that slots in. Whereas Grand Blue Leon was, you know, two different guys combined together, so there's issues that arise from something like that. But for Heavy Iron W, he is very, very solid. Not much leaning at all, and his ratchets are really, really good and tight, and you know, just chunky ratchets. Now, before we compare him to Heavy Iron the original, I did want to compare him to can't even see him. I did want to compare him to Blue Cop, the original Blue Cop from Season 1, just to show you the pure size difference. Incredible size difference. Okay, so here is the original Heavy Iron next to Heavy Iron W, and yeah, you can definitely tell they're the same guy, right? Like, the colors are a bit darker on W, and obviously he's massive, more stylized, definitely in line with the modern God Brave Studio aesthetic. But you can't deny that they are the same robot. Like, they hit all the same notes in just totally different ways. And it's really, really interesting to, like, just look at. Like, I love both of these robot toys for just completely different reasons. Now, let's quickly talk about metal cards. Heavy Iron's original metal card is this thing. I forget what it's called, but it just sort of sits on his chest and gives him this sort of look, and forms like a beam that he shoots out that's really powerful. It doesn't look like much on the toy, but it is really cool in the show. Whereas Heavy Iron has this monstrosity. Yes, just like most Season 2 and 3 metal cards, this metal card is more of like a metal encyclopedia. It's not even like shapely, it's all bumpy and stuff, but that's all good. I don't really care. Like, I think having just a gimmicky piece of equipment that can, like, form into something like this and store away, I think it's a good idea. Like, I get that some people are like, they kind of forgot the gimmick after Season 1. And they totally did, but I feel like them just doing whatever they wanted just made the series so much better. Like, I much rather prefer that than, you know, a sort of cohesive idea of a gimmick. And I always describe the metal cards as sort of like Transformer Cybertron gimmicks, but on the outside. Now, for Heavy Iron W, a lot of his metal card is just giving him sort of dragon appendages. Just dragon stuff to put on him to make him more dragony. So these wings come apart, and then this is his new chest plate. So he still has a chest plate. It's just a bit different this time. It is shaped like a dragon head, of course. Nice gold chrome on it. The mouth does open. In the show, he shoots like a super powerful laser beam from the mouth. So let's go ahead and start attaching this stuff. And you've got some C-clips here. You got some C-clips here on his chest, and you just attach them that way. And boom, he has his dragon head. So as you can see, he's got a big old dragon head on his chest now. Very scary, very spooky. And you've got these 3 extra parts. Now, what do you do with these? So for this is the dragon tail, and it is going to plug into the sword blade, or sorry, the sword handle, to form a, you know, sort of double-sided, I don't know, Darth Maul style sword. Okay? I'm gonna be honest, I don't love his metal card stuff. Like, it's fine, but I just don't think it's all that interesting. So there you have his big old sword thing going on. And then on the back here, the last part are his little dragon wings. And you just have holes here on the side, and you just plug them in, basically. I'll say the connection on these guys is terrible. They barely stay in at all. I don't like them at all. And it's not like you can really see them in robot mode. Like, you can barely see them. You know what I mean? Like, they are not really blowing me away in terms of metal card, like, accessories. The dragon head is cool. I think it adds to his look a fair amount, and it does harken back to the original heavy iron. But the blade is, it's fine, and the wings are just bad. So, yeah, in terms of, like, metal card accessories, I think his are kind of a miss. But again, I think he looks incredible. I honestly don't even think he needs a metal card to be a good toy. Like, if he didn't have these accessories at all, I would still think he's fantastic. Now, for one more comparison, I did want to show him off next to the Black King Rex Kaiser, which is a mini-force toy designed by the same studio, Godbrave Studios, released by the same entertainment company, Sam G Entertainment, but it is a different series called Mini-Force, which is more of like a Power Rangers pastiche sort of thing. And here they are together. You can definitely tell they were designed by the same studio, just those angles, the super robotness of it all. And this guy at BotCon was around $100. It really makes me wonder what he's gonna be. If I had to guess, USD, either like $130 to $150. But yeah, seeing these two together is really cool. I am kind of surprised at how big Heavy Iron W is compared to Rex Kaiser. Like, I thought they would be more similar in size, but no, this dude just mogs. So yeah, Heavy Iron W is a certified fantastic figure in my opinion. Me and Zepp from the Daft Brothers did an interview with Jesse from Agabus, and he told us that they are trying to get Season 3 toys out as fast as possible, so hopefully you'll be able to get this guy more easily in the near future. But alright y'all, thanks for watching, thanks to JPFans for sponsoring this video. Don't forget that you can sign up with my registration link and get a bunch of coupons, and you can also use my code dumbjake to get a 20% shipping discount coupon. And if you enjoy these videos and want to support them further, I have a YouTube membership and Patreon. For $1 a month, both give you access to my members-only Discord server, which is super chill, and we talk about toys like these all the time. I also have a new podcast with my buddy JCC2224, absolute legend of a toy reviewer. We've been good friends for over a year now. We just put out an episode with Nod from Bots Obsession talking about BotCon. I had a wonderful time at BotCon. It's a lot of fun. That episode's a lot of fun. A lot of goofs and gaffs and bits and just being silly. So please check that out, and I will see you guys in the next one. Ciao.